Allow me to show you the world, Descender.
It's watching us. That's not an animal's gaze.
Dotorre is too powerful. Fighting him is futile.
Dotorre, you son of a... He's done something to us!
I gotta get out of here. The experiment begins. Show me how long you can struggle before you drown.
So he was bluffing. He really built that.
She's gone because of your actions.
I am growing weary of your stubborn resistance. Once I transcend fate, you will be nothing but fodder for my grand experiment!
Looks like the gang's all here!
Yep, all ready. How about you two? Green and good to go?
Paimon's ready!
Great, let's get rolling then. Great. Well, first things first.
Wait.
Someone's here. We heard your footsteps. Although...
You've been here for a while now. I take it you followed the Traveler, but I don't sense any ill intent in you.
Come on.
I figured it wouldn't take you long to notice me. I come bearing news from my lady, the Knave.
Dotorre went through the motions of returning to Snezhnaya, but it was obviously a facade. However, he has not returned to the Kuvaki Experimental Design Bureau, nor has he made an appearance in Nasha Town.
Well, in that case, he'll be in his lab way up north. I always wondered why he applied for his own private pad. He was planning this all along.
Tell them that Sandrone and I will go on ahead. If they still intend to pursue this matter, they should meet us at the research center in the northern tip of Krai.
Nice of Columbina's two best friends to think of us. We appreciate the heads up. Our sincere thanks to the Fatui for your aid.
Lady Damselette may have left our organization, but at least some of her colleagues remain genuinely concerned for her well-being. Not to mention that the Doctor's increasingly cryptic conduct gives us great cause for alarm. We have crossed swords many times before, but it's not personal. We're just on different sides. We don't lack humanity. And so, as fellow friends of Lady Damselette, it's only right that you should be in the know about this.
Arlecchino's situational awareness has saved us a lot of trouble.
I'll leave the map here with you. If you do decide to head to the research center, please proceed with caution. And remember, at least while you're in Krai, Lady Arlecchino's subordinates are your comrades if you want them to be.
This is very accommodating of you. We can't thank you enough.
Just doing my duty. I shall take my leave now. If you need us, you'll find us at the Experimental Design Bureau.
So, the Doctor's left the Experimental Design Bureau and headed to some research center up north.
Marionette seems to think he's been planning this for a long time. But when did it start? Before he even arrived in Krai?
It seems his loyalty to the Tsaritsa is lip service at most. Behind the scenes, he may even be working against her.
Whatever his motives, we know that he's decisive and incredibly ruthless. Facing him unprepared would be a recipe for disaster.
At this stage, it's difficult to predict his next steps. I suggest we split into 2 groups. We need some people to stay behind and guard Nasha Town.
Well, as much as I'd love to help, infiltrating research labs isn't really my area of expertise. But at least take Cool Your Jet's Ducky with you. It should be some help during the battle.
And as for Miss Inefa, I suppose you will stay to protect Miss Aino?
Detecting operational logic. Protect Aino. Priority. High.
Just in case, Servarka, I think it would be best if you stayed behind as well. You can leave the research center to us.
I mean, I would have said the Knight of Berea should probably be out on the front line, but okay, fine. Leave Nasha Town to me. Be careful out there, okay? If things get out of hand, fall back right away.
Yehoda will be on hand to assist you. In my absence, she can handle any intel gathering work.
You got it, boss. You guys make sure to get back here in one piece, all right?
We will.
Things are moving fast. We'd better head off soon if we hope to keep pace.
So, it's infiltrate a secret research facility, or... Yeah, alright. Paimon will help out here instead. Sounds like it's gonna be a pretty intense fight.
We all have to bring our A-game here. So, anything you need to wrap up before we leave?
Then you'd better get going.
Very well.
What the? Trespassers? Here? What's wrong with you people?
We're looking for the doctor, and we understand he might be here. I see you're fleeing the facility.
You looking to settle a score with the doctor? Good luck with that. I don't think you have many chances left.
Perhaps. But you might have a chance to live if you start talking.
2 other Harbingers had the same idea as you. They're already inside. But what good is it gonna do? The doctor wouldn't do something like this unprepared.
Seems to me that you're not too thrilled about being his subordinate. Also, is it just me, or do I sense monsters nearby? If you'd prefer their company to ours, that can easily be arranged.
We need to know what the doctor is up to. Please, if you know anything at all, tell me. This is about more than us versus the doctor. His actions could have consequences for all of Nodkrai. And perhaps even your homeland, Snezhnaya.
He's building something. Ambitious doesn't even begin to describe it. Feels like this could be the big one. God knows how long he's been planning it. A while back, he told us he'd be returning to Snezhnaya. We weren't expecting him back so soon. This time he brought some gemstones with him, or something. 2 of them.
The moon marrow spheres. He stole them from their rightful owner, Columbina.
Oh, Lady Damselet? Last I heard, she left the Fatui. Before she went, she told us she'd finished what Her Majesty asked of her, and wished to focus on some personal matters. I remember thinking that leaving us might not be the best choice. I mean, I always looked up to the captain the most, and... Back when this all started, the higher-ups dispatched 3 units to Nodkrai to execute their plan. They were led by the Doctor, Marionette, and the Damselet, respectively. I was a part of the Damselet's unit to begin with. She never really interacted with us much. In fact, she seemed sorta detached from everything. Not because she was distracted, just felt like she was indifferent to the world around her. Like she had no stake in anything that happened. She always seemed like she was staring off into the distance. Almost as if she didn't see anything worth living for in the present, so she had to look further afield. That's right. She always used to stare up at the sky. The doctor used to stand nearby and watch her. Apparently they got along well at first, but somewhere along the way, she grew wary of him, started avoiding him as much as possible. After she left, everyone in our unit merged with the doctors. He's similarly indifferent to the world, except when it comes to the moons. He seems to have big plans for them. Right now, obtaining the 3 moons is his #1 priority. He even said if he can only get his hands on 2 of them, he'll create a 3rd one himself.
How would he create an artificial moon marrow? Maybe the knowledge he gained from the Hyperborean phantoms has something to do with it.
Thank you for cooperating. We appreciate the level of detail.
I get the sense that you'd serve under Columbina again if you had the chance. Would that be fair?
No, she's no longer a harbinger. As a member of the Fatui, my loyalty will always belong to the Tsaritsa. I'm only telling you all this because I don't completely trust the Doctor. His actions do not align with the goals that first brought us to Krai.
I understand. We'll do everything within our power to stop him. The Knaves unit is based at the Kuvaki Experimental Design Bureau. Maybe you can seek refuge with them.
Well, now we know what's going on here. Artificial moon marrow. He's likely well on the way to completing it. Dotorre's technological capabilities are far more advanced than I thought.
I fear this could get ugly. Everyone, prepare yourselves.
Welcome, one and all. I've been expecting you. I hope my humble research facility is to your liking.
Yeah, we really appreciated fighting our way in through a horde of monsters.
The gall! You expect us to believe you've just been patiently waiting for us?
Of course I have. Should I be worried about something? Everything seems to be going quite smoothly so far, and you've shown up right on schedule. First Sandrone and Arlecchino, now you. Ah, quite a surfeit of guests I've had today. If you were looking for them, I should probably mention that Arlecchino disappeared as soon as she entered the facility. As for Sandrone, why, she stood right here only moments ago demanding answers from me at the top of her voice. Hardly out of character. She never was one for basic courtesy. But I have to admit, I was a little surprised to see her showing concern for someone besides herself. Does everyone you associate with undergo such a change in temperament? Speaking as a researcher, I have to say, it is not a change for the better. It threatens one's ability to remain objective. Well, since you ask...
So you've got your hands on the moon marrow, and now you're claiming godhood. Don't you think that's a bit of a stretch, Dotorre?
I must protest what you are insinuating with that phrase, claiming godhood. I am not claiming anything. I am stating a fact. You're a researcher. I'm sure you appreciate the distinction between the two.
Huh? Wait, you really think you're all that? You'll excuse me if I'm not being a polite little lady for you. We're colleagues. We both know what kind of person you are.
By the same token, I knew you'd respond along those lines. You and I both understand that facts speak louder than words. To that end, I've had my people send you a small gift. It should go some way toward helping you understand my present position.
What gift? Where have all your troops gone?
Who knows? Perhaps they are already marching toward a new world, following in the footsteps of an unknown god. As vulgar and arrogant as you may be, dear Sandrone, I have no intention of taking out my displeasure on your subordinates. They will enjoy equal rights to my own.
You sent your people to the Experimental Design Bureau? That's a Saritsa's property.
Yes, and I am very mindful of Her Majesty's instructions. But you know full well that they do not conflict with my present goals. In which case, all I'm doing is conducting another one of my experiments. Is there a problem with that? Now then, you have a judgment call to make. Am I simply lying to stall you? Or is it possible that every word I am saying is the truth? In which case, your subordinates really are in danger.
So now you've turned on fellow Fatui soldiers. You're completely insane.
I have set a new rule for myself. Each person gets one chance. Naturally, that includes you, Sandrone. If you wish to leave, I won't stop you. We are colleagues, after all.
Scumbag!
Still, I hadn't counted on Sandrone sparing any thought for the people of this world. Shame. I always found her self-centeredness to be one of her few better qualities. How can she ever hope to achieve greatness when she's so obsessed with protecting her little design bureau?
It's more than a little disingenuous to speak of achieving greatness while taking hostages. Or does honor no longer mean anything to you?
Honor? I have the marrow of 2 moons in my possession and will soon complete the construction of a 3rd. I will be the god of a new world. And you speak to me of honor? How charmingly naive.
Those are sacred relics. You do not deserve them.
In my view, many in this world do not deserve to be alive. And yet I mercifully permit them to go on living, do I not?
You'll come to regret your actions.
Will I now? Let's see if you can make me.
Let's go.
I've always thought it is wiser to flee than surrender.
Watch out!
What the? Forget about me! You should...
Where's the Traveler?
Paimon, listen to me. From the bottom of our hearts, we are so sorry. We completely understand how you must feel. The Traveler is trapped, and we all feel responsible for it.
Don't say that! Paimon's not a little kid! You didn't leave her behind on purpose! There was nothing you could do! She's all alone in there! What if something happens to her? What are we gonna do then? We've barely spent any time apart since we met. Is she gonna die?
We must find a way to rescue her. We were all involved in the operation where she was captured, and we do not abandon our comrades. That being said, it won't be easy. Through conversation with the others on our return, we've arrived at a basic idea of what we're up against. Dotorre's lab has clearly been in operation for a lot longer than we realized. We found many monster samples stored there. In all likelihood, they were materials he used to research his latest technology. We also know that through his contact with the phantoms of Hyperborea, he gained knowledge about the moons and certain Hyperborean technologies. Using this knowledge, he then fashioned an artificial moon marrow to serve as a replacement for the frost moon beyond the sky. Unlike Columbina, Dotorre is not being rejected by Teyvat. And even with 2 of the 3 moon marrows, his power far exceeds all of ours combined. Once his 3rd moon marrow is complete, Dotorre will have completely seized the authority of the 3 moons. Teyvat's most primordial powers will then be in his grasp.
Does that mean...
I'm afraid so. No one could have predicted this level of insanity, not even from Dotorre. And unfortunately, his insanity is coupled with an intellect and ambition that not even his peers in the Fatui can match.
This is dire. Sounds like the world is done for.
The 3 moons' authority can influence the very fabric of time and space. I dare not imagine what a monster like him would do with that kind of power.
The trouble's already begun, I'm afraid. On our way back, we discovered that part of Krai is being enveloped by an unknown energy. We cannot ascertain what is happening inside. I'm convinced this is Dotorre's doing. Not that there's any way to prove it. The issue is, we have no idea what his intentions are.
The only thing more frustrating than facing down evil is knowing that it will surely come, but not knowing when.
The Doctor is guilty of numerous crimes in Mondstadt as well. One of our knights, well, former knights, his father was murdered by Dotorre. His ideology and methodology are a danger to everything in his path, from individuals to entire nations. He does not feel guilt, even when he acts against his own people.
He doesn't see them as his own people, that's why. People like him see everyone else as beneath them.
Right. He views other people only in terms of how they can benefit him. That's the basis of all his social connections. Granted, he's hardly the only harbinger to pursue their own interests. We all do, and Her Majesty is gracious enough to permit it. Still, her mercy has its limits. Dotorre's actions have gone beyond even what the Fatui could have imagined. Usurping divine authority to become a god. For a servant of the Tsaritsa, that goes beyond being disloyal. It's treason of the highest order. We can't expect him to heed the Tsaritsa's will once he gains the Three Moons' authority. Even we Harbingers consider him the most self-interested among us.
Poor Traveler. Of all the people to get caught by... We have to go save her! Right now! Please! We gotta find a way!
Paimon, I promise you, we are with you all the way.
I get how you feel. I do. But it's gonna take more than strong emotions to take down an enemy like Dotorre. What we need now is more information.
Right. We can't even guarantee he's still at his research center. Before we can think about mounting a rescue operation, we need to confirm the Traveler's location. I'll find a way.
Paimon knows, but... She's so scared. If anything happens to the Traveler... She might be the strongest person Paimon knows, but she's still human. She feels pain and bleeds just like anyone else.
Then think things through before you stick your neck out. Unless you want to lose your head.
Sandrone.
Miss Sandrone, you're okay?
Put the stuff over there, and be gentle with it. Am I okay? As you can see, I've had to move my whole livelihood out of the Experimental Design Bureau. It's been swallowed up by Dotorre's energy field. If I'd left it any longer, I probably would have gotten stuck there. Ugh, Dotorre always goes a little loco when he finds a shiny new toy. Not that he'd ever admit that. But this time, he's gone full psycho. Just go ahead and cry already.
Sorry. Paimon's not trying to make it seem. It's just... She can't.
Oh, Paimon.
Let it all out. There's no shame in it. When you're overwhelmed by fear and despair, crying can help get it out of your system. You'll feel better for it.
Okay then, while the baby of the group is having a moment, how about the grown-ups get to work? Give me your hand.
You've made a discovery?
Polonia, scan. You, hand, now.
Oh, I thought you'd never ask, my lady.
Curses! You're next, then you. Dotorre, you son of a... He's done something to us! Everyone who entered his research center has been implanted with some sort of curse.
I don't feel anything unusual at the moment. Does that mean it hasn't activated yet? Is there a way to figure out its purpose and what might trigger it?
My best guess is Dotorre created it using the Moon Goddess's powers. 1 second, analyzing. Ugh! That friggin' maniac!
So, what twisted game is he playing this time?
The moment I analyzed the energy composition, some encrypted text appeared in my mind's eye. And when I deciphered it according to the Fatui standard encryption protocol, I got the following message. Feel free to run, or you will perish in Nod Krai.
He's mocking us.
Yup, he loves to toy with people. Only in this case, there might be more to it. But I didn't detect any murderous intent or malice either in the message or the curse's energy. As if this is him at his least malicious.
Or perhaps all people are cowards in his eyes. Maybe he thinks the threat alone will be effective.
What a despicable person. And he has the Traveler in his grasp.
If I may, as unhinged as Dotorre may be, he has always exercised great patience with the objects of his interest.
I remember a comment he made when we first arrived in Krai. He said, "This world is, on the whole, an exceedingly dull place. But at least there are a few intriguing features, such as the gods, or the Traveler. Presumably, they interest him because they're unknown quantities. He wants to understand as much as he can about them."
Agreed. The Traveler is Tevat's fourth descender. All Harbingers are aware of this. Since Dotorre took such pains to capture the Traveler, he is unlikely to kill her right away.
Okay, but we still have to do that rescue operation.
Of course. I also think we need to read between the lines with Dotorre's message. If he's encouraging us to run, that means we mustn't leave Krai under any circumstances. My guess is, his curse will only trigger if we leave.
We've discovered multiple energy fields. Albedo is still attempting to analyze their structure. He told me to report back first. Each field is slowly growing, swallowing up more of the surrounding area in the process, and the pace of their expansion has increased since we first examined them. He's probably trying to swallow Krai whole.
His nefarious ambition knows no bounds. If this continues, the whole of Tevat will be in trouble, not just Krai.
The loss of Columbina could not have come at a worse time. Do we think she's truly gone for good?
She entered the space beyond the Moon Gate, knowing what became of Rerir and Tholindis. I'm sorry, but I fear the odds aren't good.
Don't be ridiculous. If I know her, she's busy finding a way back as we speak just so she can annoy me. She isn't dead.
Whatever has become of her, the fact remains that we are two comrades short on the eve of a decisive battle.
We need to find out the Traveler's location, but there is also other work to be done.
Agreed. Whatever Dotorre's planning, we have to get the local populace somewhere safe. So, as well as a rescue mission, we have to organize a mass evacuation at the same time.
It would be best if someone could approach leaders of neighboring nations and negotiate emergency asylum for Krai's inhabitants. Can anyone handle that?
Snezhnaya is one option. I'll see what I can do.
Does it be so much easier if the Traveler is here? No! Stop thinking like that, Paimon. Paimon will join you. She's pretty well connected thanks to the Traveler. Maybe it'll come in handy. Either way, that's what the Traveler would do if she was here.
All right, everyone. Our next mission is clear. We need to contact all the major organizations, explain the situation to the public, and then begin the evacuation.
The residents of Krai are quite dispersed. The two most populated areas are the Southern Isles and Pyramida. Miss Lauma, I will leave Hisi Island and Nasha Town in your hands. I will liaise with the Fatui and Pyramida.
Agreed. We will reach out to Natlan and Snezhnaya. Anyone found north of the Experimental Design Bureau should follow the Fatui to Snezhnaya. As for those dwelling south of that line, I will ask the Voynich Guild to help persuade them to leave. Then I, Mr. Varka, and the Frostmoon Scions will escort them to Natlan.
The Voynich Guild has dealings with the Curatorium of Secrets. I will send them a letter vouching for your credibility. Yehoda, you should help Lauma. This is too big of a task for one person.
My wish has come true. You're willingly lending me your most capable employee for the day.
Well, good for you if all this only takes a day. Of course, if it takes any longer, I'll be charging a fee.
Boss, wait! Don't I get a say in this?
Oh, I'm sorry. Something to add, Yehoda?
Well, no one's more important to me than you, boss. And remember how Lauma healed your eye after that big battle? I think that's worth at least 2 or 3 days' work for the Frostmoon Scions.
Are you completely incapable of acting in your own self-interest? Or do you simply devalue your own labor?
Are you sure you don't want to come with us?
Who will see to our other work if we're all busy evacuating residents? Sandrone insists that Columbina is still alive, and we have a traveler to rescue. There's much to be done.
But boss, I'm just worried that...
Well, Nefer, I'll link up with you once my tasks are complete.
What makes you think I'd need you to do that?
I'll need it. And considering the way you approach certain matters, I think you'll be better off with me present.
That's quite enough. Just focus on your work first.
I bet we're in for an uphill battle here. But we can help out too. Inefa and I are gonna help Nasha Town's residents carry their stuff.
Loading schedule. Store essential local research data and technology samples, then escort the people to Natlan. Understood. I will execute this to the best of my abilities.
Great stuff. Thank you, ladies.
I've contacted the Lightkeepers. A colleague of mine will join us shortly. I will persuade them to conduct a thorough search of the region to ensure that no civilians get left behind.
As for me, I guess I'll be making an early return to Sumeru. I think it's important that someone informs the Dendro Archon of what's going on in Krai.
Roger that. Someone should inform Mondstadt, too. Mr. Duran, can I trust you to handle that? I think you fly faster than any of us can run. As an added incentive, get there fast enough and I'll see about getting your gliding exam waived.
Really? Ha! Mission accepted, sir.
I intend to stay behind and help Miss Sandrone with her research. She has some alchemy-related questions that she'd like me to explore.
She recognizes your expertise, then. I wish you a fruitful collaboration.
Thank you. In truth, I was surprised to hear her express an interest in subject matter outside of machines.
I believe she has been investigating some Fontanian technology recently. She made a point of bringing the relevant materials with her when she left the Experimental Design Bureau. She's sorting through everything in her room as we speak.
I should mention that we have one other friend who isn't present. He hasn't made his position in all of this clear. But if we know anything about him, he's likely investigating on his own.
Paimon's been very quiet today. But I know how close she and the Traveler are with the Natlanese. She should come with us to the border.
Okay. Paimon will do her best.
Make sure to heed Sandrone's warning. Many of us have been cursed by Dotorre. As such, under no circumstances should anyone cross national borders. Remain within Krai. That aside, personally I have faith in Columbina. Things look grim, sure, but who knows how it'll play out. Same goes for rescuing the Traveler. Both of them are important allies and friends. We'll be counting on you to gather intel on them, Miss Nefer.
Oh, wonderful. You're all here.
That voice again! Nicole? Whoa, that was loud! And it came out of nowhere. So mysterious.
Sorry, this is the only way I can speak to you all right now. Please accept my apology. Anyway, time is short. I'll cut to the chase. We're still facing quite a catastrophe here at the world's borders. Alice has roped in every Hexen Circle member she can get a hold of. Except for me. She told me I had to come and help you all out as a matter of urgency. I quote, "You love talking, don't you? Well, now it's finally your time to shine. Take these. Make sure the whole party gets one each. You'll be in charge of making sure everyone stays connected."
Huh? Is this a Dodo communication device?
Scanning. Unknown device. Analyzing. Unknown device. Conclusion. Cute. Affirmative. It is cute and good. I believe that I quite like it.
This is no ordinary Dodo communication device. It's my very own special modified version, specifically... sorry. I almost went off on another tangent there. Anyway, help yourselves. It will allow us to communicate over long distances within Krai. No more worrying about shuttling messages back and forth.
What astounding technology. Am I right in assuming that it relies on your personal abilities to function, Miss Nicole?
Yes, exactly. Right on cue, Albedo. I'd love to brag to you all about how it all works. But no, next time. Anyway, I'll be right with you all, serving as a communication hub. That's all from me. Head off as soon as you're ready. I'll be staying here to keep watch, and I'll be sending you my blessings.
Sir Flint. Perfect timing. I just arrived myself. You are most considerate, Master Ilua. But in fact, I know you have been sitting here for quite some time.
If you saw me, why didn't you say something?
I was curious to see how long you could sit still for. Also, shouldn't you have managed to sense me approaching?
That would be a first. You always seem to appear out of thin air without making a peep. Also, how many times do I have to tell you not to address me as master? I don't qualify.
I beg to differ. Why should a young man so well versed in social graces as yourself not be worthy of that title?
Please, Lord Flint's... Sir Flint's. I'm begging you, don't flatter me into complacency like you do with everyone else.
You understand me better than most. My newest acquaintances tell me I love complimenting others. What do you think?
I think they don't understand why you do it. You just love puffing people up till they're a big, happy ball of hot air that floats away into the sky.
In all sincerity, I can only hope that they bring good tidings when they come back down to Earth.
Is the situation that bad?
We just held a strategy meeting. Let me fill you in.
In short, we need everyone gone from Pyramida. We also need a team of lightkeepers to scour the more remote regions of Krai for civilians to evacuate.
I only hope we have enough personnel.
We do. Old Man Nikita will definitely help, and we can recall anyone out on patrol to focus on this instead.
Good. I'm sure you and the others will make short work of this. Now, don't forget, once you've completed this task, make sure you and the rest of the team evacuate to either Snezhnaya or Natlan as well.
Flint?
If you've got something to say, Master Ilua, why not guess what I'm thinking right now?
You mentioned that you have something else to deal with later. How difficult is it going to be?
I doubt it will be easy.
I know you're a lightkeeper, and it's your duty to protect others in times of crisis. But I have a feeling that you'll be walking into grave danger. However bad things have gotten in the past, Krai has never faced a mass evacuation before. But from the sounds of it, you don't intend to come with us. I don't mean to pry, and it's probably none of my business. But whatever it is you're intending, you don't have to go through with it, you know.
I've been afflicted with some sort of curse, and I'm told it may well trigger if I set foot outside of Krai. As such, I cannot leave. I have to act, if for no other reason than to fight this curse.
What? No. Why? Why would anyone want to curse you?
There are plenty of people out there willing to trample over others in pursuit of their own goals.
Frankly, Sir Flint, I am furious. You're making light of what is an incredibly serious situation.
Indeed I am. And?
And what? I told you, I'm furious about this.
Nothing I can do about it, I'm afraid. Things happen, and we just have to deal with them. If you find yourself feeling angry, perhaps start by drinking a big glass of water.
Hey, you mean you're completely unmoved by my anger? I'm devastated.
Then allow me to express my sincerest regret. Come by the lighthouse sometime. We'll catch ourselves a few fish, have a little barbecue, play some cards, and bask in the sun.
Maybe I need to spell this out. Lean in a little, Flint.
Oh my, this doesn't bode well.
Word is that you were caught up in a real horror show recently. People were amazed that you returned safe and sound. They've been debating whether you're even human.
I've returned safe and sound from plenty of crises. When you say people, do you mean other people? Or do you just mean you?
Fine. I'll be frank. You're not human, are you?
Heavens. Now that's a horrifying thought.
You know what? Forget it. We'll revisit this once it's all over.
A sound plan. Albeit a little ominous sounding.
Just promise me you'll come back in one piece, all right?
For you, Master Ilua. How could I refuse? Also, please pass my regards on to our colleagues. Tell them, thank you all for your assistance. Please put safety first as you proceed with the operation.
Now to that question,
Heroes don't attack from behind. Guess I'm no hero.
This is most disappointing. Now then. A new face. Interesting.
You're still gonna call me Hat Guy after that, huh? I didn't see anyone else in there who needed saving. It's nothing. I'll be fine. Why are you looking at me like that? Is it that shocking that I'd come to your rescue? I owed you a favor back in Sumeru. Now we're even. Distracting Dotorre was tough. I won't lie. He's not gonna fall for the same trick twice. That was my one shot. I'd hoped to use it to take him out. Ugh. I never wanted to obliterate someone more than I do right now. Dotorre doesn't recognize me, but his segments were originally made based on an analysis of my operational principles. I expect it's only a matter of time before he figures out what I am.
So Dotorre doesn't recognize Wanderer, because he deleted himself from Irminsul. Did he really miss his only chance for revenge by saving me?
Why the long face? Hey, I'm not blaming you, okay? And I'm not complaining either. Rescuing you and killing Dotorre are equally important goals. Everyone would be pretty stuck without you. It's best you live to fight another day.
How are you holding up? Are you alright? Hat Guy said to put safety first, so we agreed to run as far away as we could after leaving the energy field, and only meet up once it was safe.
You don't look injured. It seems that Dotorre didn't do anything to you. Alright. Rescue operation complete. Let's head back. There's a lot more work to be done before this is over.
Understood. I will bear the Tsaritsa's decree in mind. I don't see what's so awesome about it, though. Does he really think everyone else is as immature as him? I'm not stooping to Tartaglia's level.
I thought you might say that. How's your progress?
Quite promising, actually. That alchemist Albedo gave me a few ideas. Remember how I asked you to look up some files for me? That stuff on the Nazi-Kreuz Institute. René de Petrichor and Jakob Ingold. Alain Guillotin despised René's theories and methods, but he never managed to come up with better alternatives either. So I adopted some of René's ideas.
I thought Alain was like a father to you. He and René were mortal enemies, were they not?
And what would you say if Lenny and his friends one day learned something useful from someone you utterly detested?
I would applaud them for it. That would mean that they have surpassed me.
For all we know, Alain Guillotin might have thought the same thing. Not that it matters, though. He's dead, and I'm alive. So it's my call to make. Once you die, it doesn't matter how great you were in life. Only the living get to decide what happens next.
Hey, come on out. They're back.
Huh? You're back? And your head's still screwed on? And you still have all your limbs?
What does it look like? Way to keep your composure, madam.
Excuse you. I am perfectly composed.
Glad you're okay.
Yes, it's a huge relief.
Worry? Oh, yeah, right. You think we, the Fatui, were worried about you?
We were worried sick.
Hey!
The Traveler and I were already friends. You are free to join this mission in whatever capacity you please, much like your tea parties.
It's a laugh a minute with you guys.
I must say, I was quite surprised when Mr. Albedo told me he would need no additional aid.
We discussed this on our way back as well. I am rarely so unequivocal, but in this case, we had full confidence in Hat Guy.
He said he knew what he was doing. Albedo and I pretty much had to just wait outside on standby. Meanwhile, Hat Guy broke into the energy field and rescued the Traveler solo.
You didn't have to mention that.
Well, I'm thoroughly impressed. You are a force to be reckoned with, Hat Guy.
Is she back? Is she really back? Traveler! It's really you! Oh, thank goodness! Paimon missed you so much!
You can finally breathe easy, Paimon.
It's great to have you back in one piece! Oh, Paimon's been having nightmares the whole time you were gone!
Look at them. You know, once you reach my age, there's nothing better than watching a misty-eyed reunion between friends.
It's nothing. Same goes when you get to my age, too. I bet Aino and Anefa would be tearing up as well if they were here.
Varka, I'm not sure Anefa can cry.
Oh, yeah, good point. Hey, your eyes are looking a little red and puffy. Come here, let's hug it out.
What? Ew, no! No, thank you. You're not my dad, okay? Knock it off! Everyone, I'm sorry for all the trouble I caused you. But the silver lining is, I didn't come away from this ordeal empty-handed. While I was being held captive, I learned a lot about Dotorre's current capabilities and what he plans to do with them. Allow me to explain.
The three moon goddesses were even more powerful than we imagined. No wonder Dotorre believes himself to be equal to the gods, maybe even superior.
Utter blasphemy.
While everyone was gone, Nefer and I made an interesting discovery, and I believe Miss Sandrone has something to share too. Ma'am, perhaps you could do the honors?
Called it. Getting rid of a pesky troublemaker like her is like trying to clean up after a crumbly cake. It always comes back to haunt you.
Our next step is to find a way to bring her back.
A place where time flows backwards, with no destination in sight. Surely it must have been created for a specific purpose. But I fear the answers are buried deep into Vat's history, held by great powers beyond our reach.
It sounds like she's on a specific path through time, just traveling in the opposite direction to us. The question is, where does that path lead? Or will it keep going to infinity?
We considered that question as well. Strictly speaking, time is not infinite.
Indeed not. Every road has an end.
Nicole! You sure loved quietly sneaking in mid-conversation.
I do, in fact. It's something I've always done at our mages' tea parties. Quiet, mysterious, and persuasive. You wonder what lies at the end of her road. Well, just as the world has a beginning and an end, so too does time. And so, the end of the road is the moment that Tevat was born. But where Miss Columbina will end up along this road, that depends on where this particular river of reverse time began.
What about the original moons and the moon goddesses? Do they have a beginning too?
All things do. In the beginning, no moons adorned the sky. It was the Dragon King Nibelung who raised the 3 moons into the heavens, and thus were the moon goddesses born. They were shadows of the planet, born to wield Nibelung's authority and oversee the world on his behalf. They were extensions of his will, manifestations of his majesty. But then one day, they disappeared just as suddenly as they had once been brought into being. Nobody knew where they had gone.
You are the moon goddess. But how? Please, there's no need. I'm not interested in fighting anymore.
I find that a little difficult to believe.
Yeah. Honestly, so do I. The way you used my own power against me was... It was a brilliant strategy. And then, in the final moment before I was thrown into this space, I got to see an old friend.
Mr. Dainsleif.
Right. It was so long ago now. But we were friends once. And when I first got here, I was filled with hatred, remorse, and rage. How I cursed and devoured. I tore everything here apart. I was consumed by the desire to leave this place and have my vengeance. But to no avail. This is a place with no exit. This is the second time I've entered this space. Though I have no memory of the first. I was torn to shreds the moment I entered. But this time I survived. It must be partly because of this new body, and partly because of all the Kuvaki I absorbed in Krai.
Are you the source of the abyssal power in here?
Not all of it. Some is from when I first arrived here and tried to destroy everything. But there was already a degree of abyssal power here before I entered. And like a venomous snake baking in the merciless sun, it tried to slither into my shadow.
Tried to? So, you rejected it?
Yes. Because after that, the world suddenly became silent for a moment.
What do you mean?
The voices in my head, they were gone. And then I saw her.
Her?
Tholindis. My former lover.
Never mentioned that she saw a memory of Tholindis leaping into the moon's reflection.
More precisely, I saw her afterimage. I'm sure the real her is long gone. She was just an ordinary Conrian. She couldn't have survived here for very long. Anyway, why have you come here? Didn't you know it was a dead end?
If I hadn't escaped through the moon gate, my friends would have been in far greater danger.
Oh, I see. Because of your power. The power of a moon goddess.
What?
You'd like to know how I know, wouldn't you? The one who resurrected me said so. I could hear a deep lust for power in his voice.
Do you mean... Dotorre?
Dotorre. So that's what he's called. He'd been collecting fragments of my body for a long time, all so that he could resurrect me at the moment of his choosing. I had no interest in his research. But being as corroded by the abyss as I was, we were aligned as far as hunting the moons and recovering my strength were concerned.
So that's why the Wild Hunt suddenly became so active in Krai. When I left the Fatui in my weakened state, Dotorre must have felt that his time had come.
Moon Goddess, could I ask a favor of you?
What?
I know this is a lot to ask, especially from someone who tried to kill you. If you refuse, I won't fight it. But this is the only thing I desire now. Nothing else matters.
What do you want?
I'd like you to take a message to Tholindis for me.
Tholindis? But...
Yes, she's dead. But like I said, I saw her afterimage. I can sense that some part of her soul remains here. Far, far ahead.
Why don't you go and speak to her yourself?
I can't. I don't know why, but I can't move freely in this space as you can. All I can see is a glimpse of her walking away. Just like the moment when I last saw her in life. In return, I will clear these abyssal obstacles for you. No, not in return. I'll clear them for you, whether you want to help me or not. It feels like something I ought to do.
Why?
Yeah. Why, indeed. I've been asking myself that question a lot recently. Why did I do the things I did? I'm tired of it all. Tired of the person I became. People used me. And then I turned around and started using others. I hurt a lot of people. I think I grew tired of it long ago. But I wouldn't admit it to myself. And ultimately, that's how I ended up here.
What do you wish to tell her?
All of it. My past. My mistakes. Everything that happened after we were separated.
Is it okay if I give her the abridged version?
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty you can skip over. Just tell her the important parts. Whatever you think that means.
Like the part where you relentlessly tried to kill us?
It's up to you. Love demands honesty. But my relationship with Tholindis was built on lies. We hid too much from each other. But after living my whole life in the shadows, I don't want to hide anything anymore.
I will do my best.
There. The abyss will no longer stand in your way.
Even though Mr. Dainsliff felt he had to fight you, I think he still regarded you as a friend.
Dane?
He said that you betrayed him, but he also felt great remorse at never having understood what you were truly going through.
Why tell me this?
Because if he'd known that someone could take a message to you, I believe that's what he would have said.
Thank you. It means a lot. I know this will sound strange coming from me, but don't die, Moon Goddess. I can tell that you're determined to get out of here.
he kept his word. The abyss is no longer obstructing my path. Is that Tholindis? She wasn't far off at all. And yet, they can never meet. Hello, Miss Tholindis.
Who are you? How do you know my name? I've never seen anyone else here before.
You can call me Columbina. I promised Rerir that I'd bring a message to you.
Rerir? My Rerir? Is he well?
He's doing better than he was.
Better than he was, huh? Sounds like he's had a pretty rough time.
Others have had a rough time on his account too. In many cases, their time ran out because of him. And I'm not just talking about the children of the Crimson Moon.
So, things got worse before they got better. Could you tell me what happened, Miss Columbina?
Are you sure you wish to know?
Yes. This is my opportunity to learn the truth. No matter how hard it is to hear, I have to know.
I admire your courage. However, time is short. I cannot stay here for long. Rerir had seeds of hatred in his heart, and many people nursed them for their own ends. On some level, everything he did was to try and find a way to see you again. But in the end, he came to regret his mistakes. He wanted to apologize for hiding his past from you. Beyond that, he did not say specifically what it was he wished to convey to you. But I'm sure that you've always been on his mind. You are what has kept him going over all these years.
I'm sorry, Miss Columbina. This is so upsetting. I'm not sure how to put my feelings into words.
It's all right. I understand. Well, that's everything from me. So, I guess I'll be...
Wait. One moment. Time flows backwards here. The road ahead only leads further.
I know. I intend to reach the end of that road.
Without a moon marrow, without the 3 moons' power, you won't make it far. Wait, unless... Are you one of the moon goddesses?
You could say that.
I see. I often think to myself, if life is like a train ride, why haven't I reached the terminus? Where am I even going? And it's not just me, it's this whole place. Wherever it is, it seems like it's existed forever. It's such a mystery. Where is it going? I must seem so ridiculous. I can't answer these basic questions, and yet I jumped right in here without hesitating, only to be torn apart the moment I entered by powerful energy currents. Only my soul remains now. Thinking back, I was suddenly overcome with fear and terror in that moment. Perhaps I too became bewitched by the abyss. I may have been the leverage it needed to control Rerir. I used to be a researcher at the Universitas Magistrorum in Conria. researching the iridescent moon's marrow. Eventually, I came to the conclusion that time in here flows in reverse. Rerir was one of the Finster King's retainers. With me, he was in an impossible position. It plagued him constantly. I wanted to help him escape his lot in life. I wanted him to be happy, so I thought I'd use this place to return to the past. At the time, I thought I could just go back to the day that the Finster King first found the prince. It was only after meeting the prince that the Finster King started going too far with his research into the abyss. That was the day all of our woes began. I thought I could stop the king from ever meeting him and solve everything.
I couldn't kill the Finster King himself, so I had to find another way to save Rerir. That's why I wanted to go back, to kill the person who had brought new possibilities to our realm.
I'm sure it was a futile endeavor, but the abyss probably enhances the basest human desires. So I naively hoped I could change everything. But I was simply too weak. Like a speck of dust against the whole universe. Look at me. I didn't even survive the journey here. Not physically, at least. I know I'm never getting out of here. But you're different. You can make it, and I want to help you. I owe you that much.
How do you plan to help me?
Have you noticed the golden energy that exists here? Based on my past research and my observations since coming here, I believe they carry you forward faster. I can share what I've learned and help you understand the pattern in which this energy appears. I think you just might... Now, I know you will be able to change the past. Also, I've been speculating about where this space ends. The documentation was scanned, but from what I know of the legends about the moons, the oldest ones seem to begin with Nibelung, king of dragonkind. I have no way of verifying any of it by this point. But if it's true, you might be able to reach that era if you keep walking.
Understood. Thank you, Miss Tholindis.
I'm the one who should be thanking you. If you hadn't entered this realm of everlasting death, what use would my deductions be? Thanks to you, they have some meaning. About Rerir, I'm so sorry. For everything.
It wasn't your fault.
That's not true. Because we both feared bringing trouble upon each other, neither of us ever told the truth. And that dishonesty sealed our fates. But enough about that. I wish you a safe journey, Miss Columbina. And may the outside world never have to experience pain like this again. Rerir, you're there, aren't you? I cannot see you, because you exist in the future. I expect we'll be trapped in this prison of space-time for all eternity. But please, gaze upon the past, and then sit for a while. Let's find a place to sit down together, just like we did when we first met.
How long have I been walking? How much further till I reach the end?
Is there even an end to be found? Everything's getting blurry.
Are you all right, little sister? Have you come from the distant future?
Exactly did the moons just disappear? Shouldn't it be a little harder to get rid of major creations like moons?
The world is a vast and ancient place. On a certain scale, all life lasts for but a fleeting moment.
Miss Nicole explained that the moon goddesses likely perished in the War of Funerary Flame. The moons themselves were also destroyed at that time, save for the Frost Moon, from which a new moon goddess was later born.
Am I missing something then? 'Cause the stories say that the moon goddesses were born on the moon, but doesn't Columbina say she was born in Krai?
Huh, you're right!
Why do their birthplaces differ? What's the difference between the two generations of moon goddesses?
Also, remember what Sandrone said? Her scans detected 4 moons. In other words, 4 moon marrows.
Technically, the result of the scan means that 4 moon marrows were detected and positively identified as moons in that moment. In other words, this piece of information alone isn't enough for us to know how Miss Columbina is doing right now.
Yep, we have no way of staying up to date on whether she's dead or alive. She's on her own for now.
But at least she's trying her best to get back to us.
Yeah, she's a tough cookie, and a sore loser too. We have to trust that she'll find a way, because we really need her power. As much as it pains me to say it, we've got no chance of beating Dotorre in a straight-up fight. He's much too powerful. It wouldn't even be close. That maniac is going to devour everything in his path until he reaches us. We need to find someone or something that can stop him before he does anything worse. I'll be frank. Our only hope of defeating this false god is with a real moon goddess on our side. I'm not just saying this because Columbina's a friend and I want her back safe and sound. It's just the truth. And I know that even she was no match for him when he attacked, but I don't have a better solution.
We're not giving up on saving her, whether she can defeat Dotorre or not.
Don't worry, Miss Sandrone. We're all aligned on saving Columbina.
No one's trying to argue that we can only justify saving our friend because it will help save the world. This is about multitasking. We want to save both.
So, she's more than just a moon goddess to you guys?
Absolutely.
Duh! She's part of the gang! And you are too, you know.
Yes, I know. You don't need to labor the point. I knew that the moment I came running over with my documents that I was part of the in-group. I mean, if Arlecchino can fit in, I certainly can. Anyway, as for how we get Columbina back, I've been working on it constantly. But I think I'm still lacking certain information about the moon. I'd probably get there if I could continue my calculations, but the problem is, I've run out of computing power.
Computing power? You mean you need more energy?
No, the issue isn't energy, it's processing power. There's so much data to get through that the whole process has just ground to a halt.
That's a tricky problem.
René de Petrichor of the Nazissenkreuz Ordo once foretold the fate of the world. But I don't know how he did it. My guess is that he used the primordial sea's power. However, that won't work for me. His methodology was vastly different from my own. What's worse, they're incompatible. And, to top it all off, we can't even leave Krai. Ugh, this is so annoying. If I'd known we'd run into a bottleneck like this... Well, no, the design bureau's a bust as well. Curse that Dotorre! Couldn't have made this harder for me if he tried.
Oh, what do we do then? How about we grab a bite to eat and take a break? Maybe something will come to mind after you've cleared your head.
You don't get it, do you? I'm trying to calculate the fate of an entire world here. And I need accurate results, not big prophecies. Where the heck am I gonna find the computing power for that? Ahem. Anyway, time to shelve the discussion on technical difficulties. Being a killjoy isn't very ladylike, after all.
Either way, we've done what we can. Rest well, everyone. Remember to let us know if anything new comes up.
Hawkeye? Is he hinting that we should talk outside?
Let's go somewhere a little more private. You know that Dory went back to Sumeru, right?
Yeah. She mentioned she was planning to head back.
Things aren't looking good for Krai. She's gone to spread the word so that Sumeru has a chance to prepare for the worst. From what I know of Dotorre, there are two possible reasons why he hasn't made a move yet. One is that he's still working through some kinks in his new powers. The other is... he wants to see how we're going to react. He'll easily devour everything eventually, so I guess he's in no rush to make it happen. The first false god he made was me. Now it's his turn. Even though my records were erased from Irminsul, Dotorre's ideas haven't changed one bit. He once told me that becoming a god was like turning yourself into a hungry wolf or giant serpent to devour the moon. Clearly, he began studying the moon goddess's powers long before he even tried making a god. He's always wanted to get his greedy hands on divine authority one way or another. And in the end, he devoured the moon where I failed. In the desert of Sumeru, there is a chessboard built by King Deshret, also known as Al-Ahmar. I don't know if it was a real game, or if he was just trying to challenge his servants and citizens in some way. But creating games and setting rules, gods do that as a matter of course. That's the kind of power Dotorre craves. Now he has the Trilunar Authority. His power is leagues beyond the common people. I don't think there's any point in other nations rushing to the front line. They're better off focusing on defense and hoping they can fend off any threats that spill out from Krai. Either way, Dory will inform Lesser Lord Kusanali, and she will contact the other gods in turn. The Seven will have some recourse available. If nothing else, their protection should keep the rest of the world from descending into chaos as quickly as Krai has. So on the bright side, even if Krai is doomed, your friends in other nations won't be in any immediate peril.
That's good to know. But I'm not ready to give up on Krai yet.
There's a word for people who refuse to let anything go. It's called being greedy.
Maybe it sounds greedy to you, and probably naive too. But whatever you call it, that's what gives me the determination to keep fighting. Battles are fleeting, but the will to fight is a long-term commitment. Give up for even a moment, and your resolve will shatter.
Why do you always feel the need to do the right thing? No one is born to be a savior. I mean, who's gonna criticize you if you fail or give up?
Don't take this the wrong way, but Dotorre said something similar to me. I guess the Fatui attracts people who don't believe in saviors.
Not necessarily. It's less about belief for me. I just want to know how determined you really are. After all, I don't owe anything to anyone else here. Only you.
You look kinda worried.
If your arch-nemesis was about to achieve their ultimate goal, I think you might feel a little worried too.
That's true. Dotorre is about to become an omniscient, omnipotent deity. That's gotta be a bitter pill to swallow. Still, you're calmer than I expected.
Obviously. I have to admit that my past self was a reckless fool who misunderstood not only the point of revenge, but how to achieve it. And as much as I want my vengeance, I know I'm not gonna get it by acting alone. If the world's taught me anything, it's to think before I act. Too bad it never taught me any other virtues, though. So, I am going to destroy Dotorre, no matter what it takes.
So, what's your plan?
I'll get to that. First, tell me, what do you think of Sandrone?
Just like Paimon said, she's a friend, part of the gang.
How much do you trust her? This is a serious question. Think carefully before you answer.
Although she's with the Fatui, she has her own values, and she's helped us a lot. If nothing else, she's clearly going the extra mile for Columbina. I see no reason not to trust her.
If you say so. In that case, the three of us need to talk. I have some thoughts about her computing problem. It can be solved, but it will come with a cost.
How much? If I can afford it, I'll cover it.
Sometimes your heroism really backs me into a corner. You know that? Come on, let's go talk to her.
Who are you? Call me Sonnet. You have the same power as Canon.
Sonnet. So, you're the goddess of the iridescent moon?
Oh, goodness! You recognize me? Well then, what's your name?
Columbina. Columbina Hyposelenia.
Hyposelenia? What a lovely name. Did you choose it yourself?
It was a joint effort between me and my friends.
Friends? You mean your friends in the heavens?
Huh?
Oh, sorry. You must be exhausted. I apologize. Hang in there. Let me introduce you to my older sisters.
Do you mean the other two moon goddesses? Arya and Canon?
Wow, you sure know a lot. Hey, does that mean that our story goes on into the future? Oh, I guess that wasn't the best question to ask. It's alright. We were prepared for that possibility. You could say we were too prepared. I can't even remember how long my sisters and I have been here by this point. When did you get here? How long has it been? I can't say for sure, but it feels like it's been forever. I see. Are you feeling alright? You look a little... We don't have far to go. The place where my sisters and I are based is just up ahead. Don't worry, they're both really nice. I'll introduce you. Sisters! I'm back! And look who I've brought with me! It's our lovely little sister, born in the far future. The pleasure is all mine. Allow me to introduce you to Columbina Hyposelenia. This is Arya, the goddess of the eternal moon. And this is Canon, goddess of the frost moon. Canon, don't you think Hyposelenia's power is similar to yours?
Hello, Columbina. I apologize for our startled reaction just now. And please, forgive our little sister if she's been annoying you. She tends to talk a lot.
It's fine.
You seem shy. Don't worry, Columbina Hyposelenia. No one can hurt you here.
Could you tell me where here is? Please. I must know.
My dear sister. This is where Tevat's original ruler, the Dragon King Nibelung, imprisoned the moon goddesses.
What? You're scaring her, Canon. No, I'm fine. Please, continue.
Nibelung, our original master, created us in the distant past to maintain Tevat.
But he left this world and traveled into the dark universe beyond, to explore worlds vaster still.
Day and night, we fulfilled our duty in the heavens, until the day that the first Descender arrived.
The great ruler of the firmament.
The heavenly principles.
Is that what later generations call them? I see. But we did not reject them at first, nor did they seem to harbor ill intent towards this world. We coexisted in peace. They were like a guest in our home.
Slowly, however, we came to realize that our guest had a growing desire to change and dominate the world.
And you didn't stop it?
No. There was an order to the rules they set up that Nibelung never taught us. We wanted to know if this order would bode good or ill for Tevat. All right. Canon and I wanted to know. Sonnet was against it from the outset.
Later, we discovered that this great ruler of the firmament bore an almost paranoid hostility toward the desire of certain life forms to seek power. Or perhaps they feared them. They would even cast down celestial nails as manifestations of their power, to punish the civilizations of the world below.
Only this was far beyond mere punishment.
Right. Their rules brought order, but the price people paid for merely testing the limits of those rules was far too great. I did everything in my power to help the punished escape catastrophe, but still, too many lives were lost.
The ancestors of the Frost Moon Scions were some of the ones you helped.
But just when we had decided to take countermeasures, the Dragon King, Nibelung, returned.
And so began the War of Funerary Flame.
So, that's the name the world gave that war in the future.
Well, who won in the end?
As far as I know, the Heavenly Principles won, although it came at a great cost. They remained in Teyvat, where they continue to rule to this day. And the world's original master, the Dragon King Nibelung, was destroyed.
And what of the moons? Are there still 3 moons in Teyvat's skies?
You can tell us the truth, Columbina. We know we are but remnants of a bygone age. We are prepared for the answer.
Only the Frost Moon remains. But it has been cast beyond the false firmament by the Heavenly Principles. The eternal and iridescent moons were both shattered during the war.
So death finally came for us in the end.
Sonnet.
But you're still here, aren't you?
A moon goddess cannot live without her moon, Columbina.
She's right. That's why I began to disappear. Because the Frost Moon is cut off by the false sky. How much worse it would have been if it were outright destroyed.
Our souls may endure within this lunar palace, but if our moons are destroyed,
then we shall disappear the moment we depart from it.
I'm sorry.
There's no need to apologize to us, dear sister. If anything, we owe the world an apology. If only we'd decided to act sooner, rather than arguing amongst ourselves.
all the more reason not to spend this time in regret and repentance. Instead, we should focus our efforts on how we might help our future sister.
Sorry?
Don't you see, Columbina, your story is not yet over. Is that not why you are here?
It's done. Initiate numerological array. Continue running primary process. Calculate the world's fate through extrapolation, and identify nodes of potential change. Secondary process, scan for moons. Still 4. The number of moon marrows hasn't changed. Wait, let me think. Is it possible that there's something I've been misunderstanding about the moons all along? Variables. Variables in the world. I know where potential variables within the world come from. So what about the moons? Are there any variables there? Like their life or death, for instance. What if being alive or dead makes no difference to a moon? But that's so strange. Even immortal gods can die. Why would the moons alone be? Wait! I've got it! I've got it! If alive or dead is considered a variable, we might have had this wrong the whole time. No one ever said that a moon marrow equals a living moon. We just made that assumption ourselves. Initiate secondary process. Scan again, this time filtering out interfering perimeter, moon marrow. I don't care if they're natural or artificial. Get them out of my search results! Why? It says 3 moons still exist in Teyvat, even after excluding the moon narrows. But we know for a fact that 2 of them are dead. Redo the scan. Narrow the results to living moons and real moons. No, scrap that. Narrow it down to moons that have lunar authority and remain alive. Why? Why is it still 3? What is this, Columbina? Has the world lied to us? Or are you the one pulling the wool over our eyes?
So, you think that the moon's reflection might be where Nibelung imprisoned the 3 moon sisters?
Yes, it would explain a lot, such as why that space would respond to a moon goddess's power, opening the moon gate at her command. It would also explain why Miss Columbina has been unable to leave, and why time flows in reverse there.
In the messages she sent, Columbina promised us she'd find a way to return, but we have no way of knowing how, when, or where this might happen.
The fact that she still has yet to reappear in this world indicates that returning from that place is no easy feat. We cannot afford to simply wait for her.
So you're saying, if she could return by her own power alone, she would have done so long ago?
Yes, she certainly wouldn't leave it to this late stage when it's so touch and go. I've been giving this some thought, and I've come to believe that Luanatar might be an anchor that she left behind, as a sort of future waypoint. This could also explain why Luanatar is always by the traveler's side.
Sounds like a plausible theory. If that's the case, there must be some criteria we need to fulfill to allow Columbina to return to the present. The question is, what could they be?
Hello? Listen up! This is extremely important! Not only is Columbina alive, but she may well exist in a form unimaginable to us. I'm still unclear on the details, but she's done something truly inconceivable in the past. And the clue to what she's done lies in the moon and Teyvat sky.
Truly amazing. Oh, I'm so delighted for her.
I'm sure we all feel the same. And I'm sure Columbina is ready to get back here and fight by our side.
I'll keep my calculations going and try to find some way of coordinating with her. But that's not an excuse for everyone else to slack off, okay? All of you had better keep trying to think of solutions.
How can the dead moons still live? And Luanatar...
It's hard to believe that's what will happen in the distant future.
Our authority is linked to the most fundamental rules of Teyvat. I suppose it's no wonder that many would covet that power.
I didn't realize that when you said friends, you meant people who live down in Teyvat. That's so lovely. I always wanted to go down there and have some fun. Have you ever tried leaving this prison? Of course. Between us, we've tried everything. But no matter where we go, this space will eventually bring us back here.
It's like the center of a whirlpool. Everything ultimately converges here, at the moment when Nibelung imprisoned us.
In that case, have you tried using any of those pathways that connect this space to the real world? Sorry? What are those? They're passages through which you can make small-scale changes to reality by using Kuvaki.
Or am I the only one who can use those passages? Because part of my soul remains in reality.
Kuvaki. What is that?
You don't know? It's a unique kind of elemental energy found only in Krai, the land from which the moons arose.
Oh. Well, it's true that the moons first rose up from the part of that you say is called Krai. But there is no difference in the elemental energy between there and anywhere else.
What? Could you show us some of this Kuvaki hyposelenia? Maybe if we see it, it'll make more sense.
Okay.
Isn't that just your power?
What? But it's everywhere in Krai. In the air, in the land. Even the creatures who live there have adapted to its influence.
How curious. This Kuvaki certainly did not exist anywhere in the world before we were imprisoned.
Let alone influence living creatures. So, how exactly does it affect them anyway? Can they float in the air like us?
This is so strange. Why would their reality differ so much from mine?
Columbina, you're looking for more than just a way out of here, aren't you?
Yes. If I am to help my friends, I will need tri-lunar authority on par with that of our foe.
You mean... you'll need our power?
This sounds extremely risky. The Three Moons' powers are not mutually compatible. Concentrating them into one goddess will be a very painful process. And if anything goes wrong, it could tear you to pieces.
I know. But I'm willing to take that risk.
Even so, let's say we successfully transfer our authority to you. How will you take it outside this prison? Nibelung constructed this realm specifically to prevent us from using our powers to interfere in his war. No moon goddess can leave this place alive.
What if I don't leave alive?
Where do we even start? How are we supposed to figure out what we're meant to do to help Columbina?
Columbina, what do you need from us?
If she really got to the beginning of time in there, how do you think she'd leave us a message? You don't think she'd write it down on a stone tablet somewhere in the hopes that we'd find it, do you?
Seems unlikely. Columbina may not talk a lot, but she thinks deeply about issues like this.
Let's review what we know. This is the Columbina who fought alongside us against the Rerir of Solnari, and with whom we celebrated Moon Prayer Night. She knows our personalities, our ways of doing things, even our unique strengths and abilities. So, if she wanted to tell us something from a long, long time ago, what would she do? Oh. Traveler, you once said that those golden ripples also appeared when Luonatar was born. What if Columbina left Luanatar here, not just as an anchor to the real world, but for some other purpose? If she is part of Columbina, and Columbina knows that I can see past events through her...
Oh yeah! Like when you peeked into Rerir's past through his heart!
Nefer, wait! If you're right about this, and you can really see past events through Luanatar, your eyes, they'll...
Oh, I know. Looking at Rerir's past in Conria was already enough of a strain on my eyes. Looking this far back into the past, it'll surely blind me. But it's our only chance. This is the only way.
Boss!
We spoke about this once, a long time ago. Do you remember what I said, Yehoda? The Curatorium of Secrets will be yours to run.
But...
What's wrong? I'd be overjoyed if I were you. This day's come a lot earlier than either of us expected. I need to know you'll honor our agreement, Yehoda. Promise me.
Yes, Boss Neff. I promise.
Are you sure you don't want some time to think this through?
What is there to think through? I should have gone blind after our battle with Rerir. Frankly, it's almost criminal that I got away with it for this long.
Then at least let me take some precautions on your behalf. And if you really do lose your sight, I'll visit your office every day and make sure you're well looked after.
Oh, please, anything but that. I was actually ready to go through with this. Are you trying to scare me into backing out?
As if I could ever scare you. I'll assume you're just joking to calm your nerves.
All right, enough chit-chat. Let's do this.
All done.
Good. Now give me some space. Come on then, little one. Show me what happened in the past.
Between the Trilunar Authority, Kuvaki, and the soul-surviving moon, the Frost Moon, I think I might know how to get back. But I will need my sister's help. Time to go talk it over with them.
Have you decided what to do? I hope it's not too dangerous. You really scared me when you said that thing about not leaving here alive. Come on, let's go find the other two.
Seems you have reached a decision. I'm all ears. What do you propose?
Have you figured it out, Columbina? Tell us, how do you plan to leave this place?
I intend to die here, in this moment, and then be reborn in the future with the help of my friends.
What? What are you saying? How can the dead be reborn? And how will you inform these future friends of your plans? You can't exactly leave oracles. Nothing can escape this place. Not a single ray of moonlight. And even if you found a way, what if they never find the message you left for them? You'll...
No, that won't happen.
Come again?
They will find my message. I'm sure of it.
I'm not following. How exactly will you achieve this?
It's quite simple, really. First, I will leave my soul here.
I see it.
Your soul? You mean your divinity?
Yes. I once left a portion of my soul in the future. One so small that this prison barely noticed anything. In this very moment, she can resonate with my soul across time. When the time comes, I believe that she can serve as an anchor to pull my soul from here back to the future reality.
Just as gravity connects the world to the moon.
Exactly. In the future, where I came from, the moon has been cast beyond the false sky, but I can still feel that it is there. In a similar way, I can feel a connection to the soul fragment I left behind even now. My friends can use it to detect my presence.
But how do you just leave your soul here? Is that even possible?
On my way here, I met an ordinary mortal who entered this place long before I did. Her body is long gone, but her soul remains. And before that, I encountered an old enemy whose entire soul survives here intact, while the power that once corrupted his body has faded away.
So, perhaps this space is specifically designed to imprison divinity and authority, but not the physical body.
Still, even if your body can escape, would it not just be a lifeless husk without the soul inside? Wait, is that what you meant when you said you wouldn't leave alive?
Yes, I shall turn my body into moonlight and pour it over Krai. That power shall protect the land and quietly blend into it, awaiting my soul's return in the future. However, I cannot do this on my strength alone. I would need your help to do this, so I'm humbly asking for your assistance.
Oh, dear sister, you need not be so formal. As I said before, we are but remnants of a bygone age. You, on the other hand, were born alone in that distant future, and you have walked a long and lonesome road since then. How could I bear to let your story end here in this dungeon? Don't forget, we are your sisters, your family.
Arya's right. Actually, I've always wanted a little sister. Can you imagine how it's been for me? Getting nagged by two older sisters all the time? Now, I finally get to be the big sis. And not just that, but I get to help you return to your world, too. How could I say no to that?
Sonnet.
Canon?
I'm sorry. I know this is a bold request.
The Frost Moon is rightfully yours, and it remains intact.
Oh, no, please, don't misunderstand me, Columbina. I was just thinking back on the years that the three of us once spent together. You cannot imagine how happy I am to hear of the future world you describe. The Frost Moon Scions, your lovely, kindly friends. For the three of us, whose purpose in life was to maintain the peace in Tibet, it is a great relief to know that the people of this world live in such an abundant future. If your plan can save them, and save not Krai, I will gladly give you all that I can. Besides, the three of us have been together since the day we were born. I could never abandon them to live on alone without them.
Canon.
Still, I do have one question I would like to ask you before we proceed.
Certainly. What is it?
Why do you cover your eyes?
Yeah, I was curious about that too. But it seemed personal, so I didn't want to intrude.
There was a time when I refused to look upon the world. I believed it was full of nothing but lies and falsehoods. I wished to hide my feelings, seal my heart, until I could return to my true home.
I see. Perhaps that decision saved you from ever having to see the false sky again. But at the same time, you likely missed out on many true and precious things, like the smiles on your friends' faces. Promise me this, Columbina. When you return to the future, open your eyes, take a look at the world around you, and see your friends. I'm sure that you know this already, given that you long to return. But that is your true home. Give me your hand, Columbina. Arya, Sonnet, you too.
Okay.
All right.
We once were the song sung for eternity, but now it is you who must continue to sing.
We once were the tides in the great river of time, but now we subside, and you arise.
We were the messengers of madness and inspiration. But now, the lies have faded, and your truth must endure.
We are souls awaiting the sun. You must return to be with those who smile when they see your face.
Is it done?
Yes. We have transferred the authority over all 3 moons to Columbina Hyposelenia. From this moment on, she is the Tri-Lune Goddess, the one and only moon goddess of this world.
Thank you. Thank you, my sisters.
Now go, and do what you believe is right, Columbina Hyposelenia.
Be aware that we cannot grant you the power of the three moons beyond these prison walls. The conflict that arose over their remains following our disappearance will still take place.
I understand. Sisters, oh, my body. It feels...
Now that we have given up our power and authority, our bodies are merely mortal shells. This prison is dissolving them as we speak.
It's okay, Sonnet. The end must come for every god, just as it does for every human. That's all this is. The final destination of our lives. Canon and I will be by your side the whole way.
We have one final request, Columbina. Could you use the Three Moons' power to send us back into the real world? Now that we have lost our powers, I doubt this space will seek to hold us further. It's just... we would like to spend our final moments together in the only place we ever called home.
Of course. Gladly. Sonnet? Yes? Don't... I wish I could tell her not to give in to the abyss. Not to be afraid. But is this really what I should say at this moment? Don't forget. I'm so glad to have a big sister like you. No, Hypo. Thank you. I'm okay. I'm not afraid. As long as my sisters are with me, I won't be afraid. It looks like this is goodbye, sisters.
Goodbye, Columbina.
Take care of this world in our stead.
I will. And now, it's time for me to bid farewell to my body, too. May it become the moonlight that keeps Not Krai company through the long years ahead. So this is why Not Krai was not always home to Kuvaki. It only appeared after I poured my body out upon this land, and only this land. Kuvaki responds to me because it is me. My body, answering the call of my soul. And the golden energy I've encountered on my way here was, in fact, that very soul, which I am about to leave here to guide me. O power Trilune, eternal moonlight. I, Columbina Hyposelenia, lay aside my body. Let it be cast into the dark night to illuminate the future. May it be a companion to all who dwell beneath the moon. Until the time comes for me to return home.
we even allowed to see that? Is anyone? Oh, can you still see? How many fingers am I holding up?
I see 2 fingers, and a look of sheer terror on your face.
Truly astounding, Miss Nefer. Your eyes have glimpsed the very ends of the world, and yet they remain as sharp as ever. Or is the credit for this miracle due to Miss Lauma? It seems that even time itself is no match for your medical skills.
Surely you jest, Mr. Flint. I suspect we have Columbina to thank. She must have realized the immense toll that the ritual would take and purposely set aside some of her power in the past to protect Nefer's eyes when this moment arrived. There is always a great price to pay for witnessing the truth, but it seems that this time, Columbina has shouldered that burden on our behalf.
She chose the perfect method of getting a message to us. Though her eyes were always shut, she was clearly so perceptive. She knows us well. She knew exactly how we would think and what we would try. Despite being separated by time and space, we're seeing the same possibilities and seizing the same opportunities.
We still don't even know if she's okay right now. But as long as there's a chance we can do something, we'll fight to make it happen.
We'll get you back somehow, Columbina.
Well, based on the information we now have, let's figure out our next moves.
Thanks to these gentlemen, we have a much clearer picture of the situation with Dotorre. The civilian population has been moved to safety, so we no longer need to hold back.
Miss Androne, how are the calculations going?
So far, so good. I'll keep seeing how far I can push the system, though. Can't have Hatman being powered down for nothing.
There's still a long road ahead. Where should we begin?
Our plan is clear. Time is short, so let's get moving.
There's just never enough time, is there? Time is the bane of my existence. Ugh. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to work.
All right, we'll do our part too.
Yeah.
Albedo's theory says that elemental energy can dilute the light realm's power. But I'm no expert in building elemental defenses. Sounds like something out of the advanced elemental theory section of the library. Whew.
You seem quite troubled.
Well, yeah. I mean, who doesn't get a little flustered when they're completely out of their depth?
You were the very picture of confidence back when you approached the Hexen Circle.
Eh, I could have been faking it through that whole meeting for all you know. Who's to say I'm not just a ball of nerves in a charming and gregarious package?
Oh gosh, really? I'm so sorry, I had no idea. Well, you're all the braver for it.
Still, I was much more in my comfort zone than I am here. At least in Mondstadt, you can cry for help from a cliff top and actually stand a chance of summoning Barbados himself. Things have never looked bleaker than they do now. If we don't pull this off, Tevat's doomed, isn't it?
Oh, you think so? Actually, yes. Yes, it probably is.
It's a shame.
Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Tevat has faced annihilation many times in the past, but it also gave us you, didn't it?
Hey, don't give me that. It's not like I'm anyone special.
I disagree. Every human born in this world is special. We angels have always believed that.
In that case, this humble human being has a big favor to ask of you.
I thought you might say that.
I'm sure Alice, in her great wisdom, sent you here precisely to help us in this difficult time, yes?
Well, that has less to do with her wisdom and more to do with my power.
Of course, of course. Well, the thing is, these elemental defenses we're about to build, I don't think it's a question of if they'll fail, but when. Duran's findings from his patrols make it clear that Dotorre is constantly expanding his territory. First it was his lab, then the design bureau, and now this. It's not realistic to completely stop him encroaching on the rest of Krai. Rather, our goal should be to stall him for as long as possible. If Miss Sandroni's calculations are correct, well, they're the closest thing to certainty we have in this situation, so let's assume they are. Anyway, her calculations suggest that our best hope for victory lies in Miss Columbina's return. It's up to us to slow Dotorre's advance and buy time for her to make a return.
Are you asking me to help you with building the defenses?
No. I'd like you to prepare for what comes next. When he eventually reaches us, we will have to fight him. You were an angel once and a mage now. I'm asking you to lend us your protection.
Oh. Can I take it that you're triggering the terms you fought for during our three-way talks?
Well, technically those terms were about protecting Mondstadt. But if you're happy to agree to the change in location, then yes, let's do that.
You're cashing in on this much sooner than I'd imagined.
Well, yeah. The way things are going, I might not get another chance.
Very well. The mages have heard the knight's plea, and we will respond. To tell the truth, Alice and I had already discussed how we might help you all, so I didn't come empty-handed. I always like to be prepared.
This is... wow. Yeah. This is great. Seriously, thank you.
It's been many long years since I had a chance to dazzle humanity with a little divine intervention. To humbly serve as a reliable and responsible guide. Anyway, Knight of Boreas, please accept this gift in recognition of your great virtue. Go now. May the angel's blessing deliver you safely to your destination.
You're looking well. I trust you've had a good couple of days.
Dotorre.
It's actually a good thing, in my view. If the subjects of my experiment were to die prematurely, it would throw quite a wrench in the works. And so, I must thank you all for your resilience. We are no longer on the same level, but you are nonetheless worthy of my respect. A creator god should be merciful and gracious after all. And in any case, it is only right that before I end your lives, the world is informed of the arrival of their new god. The experiment begins. the marrow of the three looms in my hand. Behold the false horns fall!
The deception ends here. Can't hide the truth. No more lies.
Beware the creatures of the night. Observe. Close your eyes. To dust. Pathetic. Observe. To dust. Be silent. Fear the dark.
Seek within.
Entropy.
Can't hide the truth.
To me.
Wipe out! Water jet!
By the frost moon of old. Lead.
Close your eyes. Observe. Are you quite finished? Oh. I've been moved inside another space. And it's sealed off. Looking at the structure of it, it seems like the Dotorre intends to trap us here. There's no exit. Our endurance is about to be put to the test.
It all adds up. Can't hide the truth. The deception ends here. No more lies.
For the everlasting forest. Forest,
Leaving
protect us.
openings on purpose. Confident on me.
It all adds up.
Tell me, where will you try scurrying off to next?
Looks like Dotorre has opted for a divide and conquer strategy. But we will not allow him to triumph. Now, I shall pray for our victory. A grave transgression. Leave this.
The mystery unravels.
Wipe out! Go!
No more lies. Seek within.
Such a sitting on attack, and you're already
Time to come clean. It all adds up.
How dull.
Bombs away! Water jet!
No more lies. It all adds up. No more lies.
What's this, Paposi? A knockoff version of the space Columbina that trapped him? There really is no way out. We'll see about that, Dotorre.
Water jet!
My apologies. I have not intended to take your tickets from you. But you have a choice in the matter. Obey, I can release them. An excellent deal if you had asked me. Leaving openings on purpose. Confident. Or did you honestly think that would hit me?
Wipe out! Go!
I'm aware you've been working on some little tricks to surprise me with, but it appears that none of them have come to fruition. My guess would be that you're trying to bring Columbina back. But then, where is Sandrone? Or are you trying to buy time for her? I always found their friendship to be a curious phenomenon. Two highly incongruent personalities, and yet they share a deep connection. Speaking of Columbina, I once saw her as like a younger sister. We got along quite amicably while she was with the Fatui. But then one day she suddenly decided she would refuse to take part in any further experiments. To this day, I truly don't understand what I could have done to upset her so much. It's such a pity. I could have had a sister, a family. But alas, she grew to dislike me.
You're not fit to be family to her.
That I can't deny. So many people, all obsessed with playing out the same tired old dramas. This world is rotten to the core. And then there's you. You had every opportunity to reach the right conclusion. The thought of killing you off like this? But I maintain that I approached you in good faith, so I will offer you another chance. Will you work with me? You have until I count to 10 to make your choice. 1, 2, 3.
Not in a million years.
What a pleasant surprise. I didn't think you'd join us all the way up here.
You're as sick and twisted as ever. Don't fool yourself into thinking anyone's grateful for the chances you're offering them.
Sandrone, the formula hasn't finished running yet.
Funnily enough, I was just discussing a collaboration opportunity with the Traveler, and then I see you, who I must say is a good example of an opportunity gone to waste.
Gone to waste?
I said that everyone would get one chance, and you've used yours to march right back into the lion's den. So yes, it's an utterly wasted opportunity.
And what makes you think I believe a word that comes out of your mouth?
I was planning on disposing of your little formula after wrapping up more urgent business here. But since you've taken the trouble of serving it to me on a silver platter, I can simply bring it forward in the schedule. Is this your life's work? This piece of trash? Your formula runs too slowly, Sandrone. You put your hope for success on others instead of fighting dirty. That is why you have failed. Now, whom should I slay first? Any volunteers? No one? How nice of you to leave the decision to me. Oh, how unexpected. Sandrone, any last words for me, comrade?
Is there anything you wish for?
Not really. But I've always known what I don't want. Go to hell, Dotorre.
And now, you have failed. Now you see how fragile mechanical contraptions are. Just a gentle tap, and they fall to pieces. However keen of an inventor Sandrone may have been, her death spells the end of the formula that was running inside her body. Of course, I have to commend her for making it this far. As her colleague, I have to admire her stubborn tenacity. Now, it is time for you to take your place by my side. My count was interrupted, but the second chance I extended to you still stands. Once again, you are welcome to join me. By now, I'm sure you have gained a greater appreciation for the power and authority I wield. What is stopping you from embracing a new world of endless possibilities? Not in the mood to talk? As you wish. You seem less talkative than usual today. I'll change the topic to something more apropos. Sandrone was always like this. Never trusting anyone, always so reluctant to share her research with them. Objectively speaking, she had her strengths. It is remarkable how she extracted and even optimized the world formula from so much data. But her inability to trust was her undoing. Had she allowed someone else to monitor or run the formula for her, you might still have a chance at victory even now. But regrettably, she was a stubborn fool. As much as it pains me, she had to go.
Dotorre. Maybe this is news to you, but people can change. Columbina surprised you when she escaped, and I think Sandrone would surprise you too.
Change?
You can twist the truth however you want, but I see it clear as day. You're the one who can't trust other people.
Is that how you see me? By this point, what can you hope to do about it? It is pointless to fight on. You've already lost.
Wrong. You can't win this, Dotorre.
What?
My formula can get us 90% of the way. It will connect you to Columbina. Then, I will bring the formula's output to the Traveler's side. For the last 10%, do whatever it takes. Just bring the moon down.
The moon will never be yours.
I turn my body into moonlight and pour it over Krai. My soul I leave here to inform my future friends. Lastly, I will hide the Trilune Authority within the Frost Moon. And when my body, soul, and authority are reunited, finally... It's been too long. I'm back. Stay focused on the battle, Traveler.
What a touching, barely managed. Though I personally find myself repulsed by the sight of weaklings huddled together for war. Now, quite finished patting yourselves on the back. Show me how long you can struggle before you drown!
Watch out, Columbina! He can manipulate space itself!
I know. Wait for the right moment. We'll drag together.
Outdone! Be shackled! Entropy bends to
Surged.
Did you honestly think that would hit me? Moon's remnants fall! Like an ant in my paw! growing weary.
It's over, Dotorre! Time to pay.
No longer must the world cower in the cold night.
So close to the new world!
Let the moonlight dispel the darkness. Everlasting as the moon.
Only I could have shaped the new world! Only I! Should you rather wallow in this blood? Only I could have shaped the new world! Only I! Willfully blind. How can you be so satisfied with your fate?
This battle was never about fate. It's about friends, family, and the home you stole from them.
So dull. Only the weak rely on each other for comfort. You shall see. Once I transcend fate, you will be nothing but fodder for my grand experiment!
That will never happen. No. This world is our home.